Hey everybody, this is Rashawn of Sheer Chat here in Washington, D.C. So I had an incident this weekend. If you read the topic of the live, it's like what happens when your styling session goes left. So in short, what happened to me was I had a client that has been coming to me for some time, and she comes to me for extension services. And see, in doing that consultation, I found out how she wanted to wear her hair and all the services that we needed to do to complete the look that she wanted for that particular, for the day, or, to complete the session. Well, let's say, we'll put it this way, to start from the beginning. She had purchased hair previously to be installed, and the hair was not the same color as her hair, of course. So what she, the first time when we installed the hair, she went ahead and wanted it installed with the color that it was, and then was displeased with that. So we took a small piece of the leftover hair and we added, or we colored it so that it would match her natural hair, and she would have like a little barrier in between so that the color would blend a little better. Then this time, as we took the hair out, she said, oh, remember, we're going to color all of the bundles. So we did that, or I did that, and prepared to have them reinstalled. Had to take her hair out, of course. She wanted to get her leave out area relaxed and colored. So I let her know that, hey, we will not be able to do a permanent color on your hair. We'll have to do a semi-permanent color. So in doing that, we completed all those services, and now it was time for the reinstallation. I asked someone to braid for me the back of her hair so that I could have all that pulled up for the installation, which the young lady did. And then she said, well, hey, since you're not a quick braider, let me go ahead and finish the braid pattern for you. So I said, great. I pulled out her leave out, make sure it was okay with her, or actually I showed it to her so that she would see how much was actually left out. And that was, of course, for the whole part area. So that was, we both were in agreement with the length of the part and the space that was left out and how much hair was left out, which was all good. So we go ahead and I have the young lady finish braiding her up. Then I quickly installed the hair. Everything was great up until that point. And so we have like the leave out section, which was the center because she was wearing a center part. We have the leave out section braided, and I have that like, a little cornrow to the front. I had her front sides kind of cornrowed down, but those were fairly short, so they were loosely braided so that everything would kind of blend good. So we did all that, and I asked her, I said, hey, how would you like to wear your hair today? Meaning, what is the overall style that you want? So she says, oh, well, how about layers? So I said, yes, well, we're going to layer your hair because that is generally what we do, when we do your hair anyway. So yes, we're going to do that, and I need to do it because we've reinstalled hair, so the layering is not exactly the same as it was the first time. So I just need to clean it up and make sure that the layers are proper, and generally to your liking, like, we do any other time. So I said, but again, how would you like to wear your hair? Or what are we doing for a style? So she says, oh, well, let's see if the leave out matches. So I said, okay. So I'm saying to myself again, I'm asking, what about the overall style? Because I need to know what direction we're going in at this point. And she's concerned about, several little things, but to me, the layering and the leave out was not the most important thing at that time, because I need to get a concept of what I'm going to do for the overall style. How would you like to look when you walk out of the door? So she starts to unbraid the hair. So I'm standing there and I said, well, be patient. Let her go ahead and see. So she looks at it and she says, this part is too short. So I said, okay, this is the same, this is the leave out that we agreed upon initially. And generally, just so that you kind of get an idea of where I'm going, when I do a part on a person, I don't do a part that's any longer than above the ear line. So I can always take my comb and I draw up to the top of the head. So your part will never go back any further than that point. Because a part that extends beyond the ears looks absolutely crazy. I don't know why I see people do that, but I don't know where that came from. And I think that sometimes, depending on the head shape, above the ears can be a little lengthy in terms of a part. So you have to be kind of cautious with that. But that's generally where I stop when I do any type of parting. I don't take parts beyond that point. So I said, hey, I said, this is the part we agreed on. It will be fine. I said, tell me what we're going to do for overall style. So she was very concerned with that portion, and she says, well, no, because this doesn't look right. It looks too short. So I said, okay. I said, I combed it down for her. I, laid it down as if it would lay in the end. And I said, you see, it's not a short part. It's fairly long. It's going to the back of to the middle of your head. So she says, no, it's not. And so I started to get a little frustrated. And this is where I say, when the style session turns left. Because I started to get a little frustrated, and I stood behind the chair as she's facing the mirror, and she's holding the leave out down and examining it, looking back and forth. And so she says, well, this is just too short. What are we going to do? And I had to take a deep breath, honestly, and I said, well, there's not much that you can do at this point because the hair has been installed and, the top has been completed. The only thing left to do is actually style the hair. So I said, you have two options at this point, which is to wear the hair as it is, or on the other hand, we would have to take it out and reinstall. So she sits there and she starts to stare into the mirror. And so I stand and I'm waiting, for the confirmation to proceed with the styling. So she then starts to speak really forcefully, not loudly, but forcefully. And she just said, I'm tired of coming in here and having to do your job as the stylist. So I kind of, was taken aback by that, and I had a questionable look on my face. And she said, you are the stylist, I am the client. Why do I have to tell you what to do? And so I said, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure. When do you tell me what to do? I ask you for your concept, for your look. What is it that you're looking for? You tell me that and I execute. So I need to know what your vision is. So she said, yes, that's it. Why do you have to ask me what I want when I come into the salon? So I said, that's generally what we do. In a consultation, we ask you, what is it that you're going for? What is the overall look that you're looking for, so that I can execute that for you and you can walk out of the salon happy. Now, I told her, I said, there's two types of clients. There's the client who doesn't mind, they really don't care what you do because they know that you're going to do a good job regardless. So that's the one that comes in and you say, hey, what are we doing for you today? And they say, oh, it doesn't matter. Just go ahead and do my hair. Then you have the client that is very particular about their looks. So I explained to her, or I notated the fact that she is the client that is very particular about her look. So I'll ask, hey, what is it that you want to do? And she says to me, well, what do you think? So I said, okay. Now this is on, some other occasions. This is not particularly this day. So I'll say, okay, well, why don't we do like a side part? We're going to do a bang, something kind of with a sweep to the side. I lay out these things and she says, no, I want to do X, Y, Z. After this happens a couple of times, I said to myself, why go through the whole process of thinking up a style for you if you're going to ultimately tell me what to do anyway? So I just generally ask what it is that you want to do, and then we execute the style that way. So moving forward, after explaining all of this, she got very indignant and said, I'm just tired of coming here and having to do your job and, 1, 2, 3, ABC, and it just kind of frustrated me. And she said, and this is why I'm frustrated. So I had to take a deep breath, and I said to her, let me let you know something. I as well am frustrated. And so let me clue you guys in that this is something I've never done. I never tell my clients my feelings of dissatisfaction. So, and maybe that is where I need to get better, or something that I need to do more often if it occurs. But I told her that particular day, I said, I'm frustrated as well. I said, I'm frustrated at the fact of each time you come in and I do your hair, you never seem to be satisfied. There is always something that you're displeased with. And I've been doing your hair well over a year. And so now with you coming in for installation services regularly, there should be no issues with what's getting done. So I said, perhaps it's me. Perhaps I'm not capable of doing your hair. Maybe I cannot live up to the standard that you have set. So she goes on to say, I don't believe that. I just think you need somebody to tell you what to do. So what you need to do, what she said, when I come in next time, I will have all the instructions for you as to what to do. So I said, wait a minute. I said, I don't need you to give me instructions. What I need you to do is to give me your vision. And so I think she was a little taken aback by that, and she kind of sat back and she said, well, what is it, if I don't need to give you instructions, what is it that I need to do when I come in next time so that we don't have this issue? So immediately I said to myself, next time, because I was practically done at that point. But I told her, I said, you know what? It's not you. I said, what I need to do for me is I need to ask you more questions about what it is that you want. Because apparently, when I ask questions, to me, I'm clear. And I feel like I have your concept in mind, but whenever I execute, it apparently is not to your liking. Now, the odd thing is that the concept that I have in my mind based off of what you tell me is exactly what I execute. So I am pleased with your hair. Unfortunately, you are not pleased with your hair, which I don't know why. So I can't really tell you, beyond that what you can do, but I can tell you what I can do is ask more questions to make sure that I am better equipped if we choose to move forward with this relationship. So she said, fine. And she said, well, go ahead and finish my hair. What do you want to do? And I asked her, I said, okay, so now are you giving me the authority to go ahead and style your hair the way I see fit? Or are you going to then tell me what it is that you want done to your hair? Because if that's the case, just let me know and I'll go ahead and do that. So basically I went ahead, I finished her off. I curled her hair the way she usually likes. She was happy with it. She walked out the door, she gave me a hug, and it was kind of like a crazy moment because it's like we just spent 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes going back and forward with each other, venting our frustration. And I guess maybe that's what needed to take place. Maybe we just needed to vent that frustration. But we did all of that, and it was kind of odd. So I wanted to know from other stylists, what would you do when your style session turns left? Because after the situation, I felt a little upset with myself, because again, I thought about it and I said, I don't believe that I've ever had that type of exchange with a client, and it kind of upset me that it took place, because it kind of pulled me outside of my character. And even though there was nothing, I didn't act out, I didn't speak out of order, anything like that. I think I was very respectful, but I was firm in my belief, because at that time I was actually ready to release her as a client. And so I just wanted her to know where things went off on my end, or in my opinion. She let me know the same. Perhaps we can move forward and we'll be able to, have a better relationship moving forward. But I am not really certain, and nor am I really, I'm not very confident in that fact. I feel like I can move forward. However, I don't want to put myself in the same position for that to happen again. So, with that being said, please let me know what you would do when a style session turns left. And you can see some of my other shows, but I definitely look forward to hearing seeing what you guys have to say about this particular situation.